Hey guys, welcome to TGS. Tim Weston here today is going to show us how to Gralloch a Muntjac according to DSC Level 2 practices.
Yeah, so the first thing you got to remember with DSC Level 2 is what you've got to think about is everything I'm doing to this animal going to make it safer to eat or less safe to eat? And if everything you're doing to the animal is going to make it safer to eat, you're within best practice, effectively. If what you're doing is making it less safe to eat, you're not going to be. So if we field Gralloch this, and we took it open, cut the head and feet off, and then dragged it back to the car, have you made it safer to eat or less safe to eat? Probably less safe to eat. So I like to lard a Gralloch, which is what we're going to do here. We've got a mature Muntjac, so the first thing we need to do is just slit the leg so we can hang it up properly. So that's one of the first thing I always do. Take our gambrel, and we are now going to hang it on our hook for our suspended Gralloch. So I always suspend Gralloch a deer, even if I'm in the woods. Even if it's a big fallow, I will winch it up and do it. So we just need to make a small incision here, just to let some of the blood out. And whilst I do that, I might as well cut down through the neck. I haven't cut the esophagus or the windpipe yet. I've just made the incision where I'll go. So because we're in the larder, we can clean our knives every time. The next piece we're going to take out is around the anus. Now a lot of people will go and cut around in a circle. I tend to cut straight across there, down in, and now I can go round the anus and uterus. Now, what I often also do at this point is just pull this out like that. And the reason I've done that, see, I've pinched it. So now if any of the crotties come out, they're not going to come out in the cavity. So that's now hanging outside. So hopefully what I've done here has made it safer to eat. We then come around here. She looks like she's got a bit of milk, so I'm going to cut just under the udder with a very small incision. I'm then going to change my knife to a trike knife or a gut hook knife, and it's got a blunted end. And the reason it's got a blunted end is you shouldn't be able to pierce the stomach. So the deer was shot about 15-20 minutes ago. It has swelled, you can see that, they do. And this knife just helps avoid splitting the swollen stomach. See, I can saw and it doesn't burst the stomach. If I'd used that knife, the point would have cut the stomach. Now, there are two techniques here. The one I favour is to not cut any further than here, not cut down the rib cage. Certainly if I was field Gralloching, I wouldn't cut down the rib cage. But we're in the larder, so we've got the luxury of being able to. We will get the saw out, so we will do it. So what I need to do is just cut the skin, because the saw doesn't like it. Take our saw. Now, as you can see, my saw is the same size as the deer. That's because we shoot a lot of fallow deer. This is not an ideal saw for Muntjac, so it can get a bit exciting. We just go in. If I can get it going. There we go. It's not the best saw for Muntjac. So what most people, I've missed one rib there, which you've got to get through just to get the esophagus out. So she's pregnant, which is good. So we need to record that for our larder records. And this should all come out in one go now. So we just take it down to there and fold as we go. Now just here, you can just nick these bits off, cut around the diaphragm and then round that side. sure not to get yourself. Cut, gently slice here. Okay, and then the way that's out the mouth, so it hasn't gone on the meat. So when I'm in the larder, a lot of people cut the esophagus. The easy way is to leave it all attached on the head and cut it all off in one go. Then you don't have to worry about tying off the esophagus. Sometimes with a neck shot, it actually makes it, believe it or not, harder to get the head off.
Well, it ends up with like the fractured bits.
Yeah, you get bits that yeah. You've shot it just where I'd normally cut it, or just behind where I'd normally cut it. So like you said, there we go. You've got a joint fracture. So there we are. Right, now, normally we'd be looking, we're not going to have them. So at the back here, there are two glands called the submaxillary. Shot placement has meant they're not available to us because the bullets pass through those glands, so we can't see them. We have a series of glands on the mesoneric chain, which runs through here. So we're just inspecting to see, it's the other side you need to inspect. They're all okay. There's one gland swollen there, actually. Not a major problem. You'd normally cut into that. Yeah, that's okay. It's actually just a fat deposit, so that's fine. I've cut the knife through here, but under the heart, you've got a couple of glands as well. Again, there's nothing swollen, so that all looks good. And the liver is bright red, healthy, and she's carrying one fetus. Pretty sort of quarter-grown fetus in there. So that all looks completely healthy in there. I do wash my gloves, even though I'm wearing gloves. Inside the carcass, it all looks good. Bright red, no problems with anything there, and all up in there is clear. So that, other than taking the feet off now, getting rid of that green, is ready to go into the chiller. So my knife. So I'm just going to take the legs off, or the feet.
Which joint to cut on?
Oh yeah, I'll do it in a sec. So that's the front one. So with the front, what I do, there's two ways of doing it. One is you do it that way round and cut across here. I tend to go this way, and you've got a soft knuckle here, just like you do in your knee. And as you cut, there, you'll feel the tendon go, which you just did. So the tendon went. You then straighten it out, cut round, and that will now just break off. Okay, so it's easy enough. The back legs, people often struggle with, and what I find is, with a suspended Gralloch, I find it easier. What I tend to do is, if you put them under pressure, back here, you sort of find the joint, it's normally the top of the gambrel, somewhere there, and it will just come off. Yeah, so again, what a lot of people do, they feel around for a knuckle. Just put it under pressure, cut with them, and it'll find its way. It'll just come off. So it's like with anything. If it's under pressure, it comes off okay. My knife's gone blunt. There we are. And that is that. Never hose them out. Even if they've got content, you only wipe or cut. We're going to have to wipe this because where the esophagus came out the mouth, she spilt a bit of green on her. But that's on the outside. The inside of the carcass is completely clean. So there's nothing to worry about there. And then we just roll her into the fridge. The only other thing we need to do once we've dried our hands is write out a game label, which is a legal requirement. And it's for food traceability. So it has the estate location, which is Savernake, date 11th November, time was about 15:30, 3:30. It's a Muntjac female, that one. Damage and lesions, no damage, high neck shot is what I'll write on there. No lesions found. The swollen gland was actually a fat deposit, so it wasn't a swollen gland. If there was, you'd write that on that part of the ticket. Number is my unique hunter ID, so that ties the carcass back to me, and my name is my name. So it's as simple as that. We fill that out, and that gets stuck on the leg of the deer, and that goes away to the game dealer. So that can be traced back through the food chain to this estate and me as the hunter, even though Johnny shot it, but I'm the one that inspected it. So it's the person that inspected it, not the person that shot it.
So you're liable?
Yes. As the person that inspected it, there is nothing wrong with that one, so we're okay.
Mate, thank you very much for some
That's
amazing education.
All right.